Lonely, single men. Reasons why you are still single. Clearly, some people are single because they choose to be. They are simply not interested in being in a serious relationship at this time in their life. Others are single due to the circumstances of their lives. They may have just gotten out of a meaningful relationship or have dated relentlessly and just haven't found someone with whom they're truly compatible. The point of this article isn't to stereotype all single women or men, or to put anyone in a box. However, for people, particularly those over 30, who are looking for answers to the puzzling question, why am I still single? Here are some unconventional answers that lie within. When it comes to dating and relationships, it's hard not to feel that you are a victim. After all, others can be cruel. You will get hurt, and no, it isn't always your fault. But the reality is that we hold more power over our romantic destiny than we often think. To a great degree, we create the world we live in. Although we are rarely conscious of this process, we can, in fact, make a choice whether to see our fate through a victimized lens or choose to be goal-directed and take power over our lives. We benefit from focusing on what we can control and not what we can't. We can become aware of the myriad of ways we influence the reactions we get from others, even the negative reactions. So the question for the single person looking for love is, what are the internal challenges I need to face? 1. Defenses. Most people have been hurt in interpersonal relationships. With time and painful experiences, we all risk building up varying degrees of bitterness and becoming defended. This process begins long before we start dating, in our childhoods, when hurtful interactions and dynamics lead us to put up walls or perceive the world through a filter that can negatively impact us as adults. These adaptations can cause us to become increasingly self-protective and closed off. In our adult relationships, we may resist being too vulnerable or write people off too easily. 2. Unhealthy attractions. When we act on our defenses, we tend to choose less than ideal relationship partners. We may establish an unsatisfying relationship by selecting a person who isn't emotionally available. Because this process is largely unconscious, we often blame our partner for the relationship's failed outcome. We tend to feel devastated or hurt by the repeated rejections without recognizing that we are actually seeking out this pattern. 3. Fear of intimacy. As my father, psychologist and author Robert Firestone, wrote in his article, "You don't want what you say you want." Most of us profess that we want to find a loving partner, but the experience of real love disrupts fantasies of love that have served as a survival mechanism since early childhood. Pushing away and punishing the beloved acts to preserve one's negative self-image and reduces anxiety. 4. Pickiness. Our own defenses often leave us feeling pickier and more judgmental. This is particularly true after we've had bad experiences, where we were deceived or rejected by a person for whom we had strong feelings. Many women start to have thoughts like, "There are no decent men out there," or "All the good ones are taken." Men may have thoughts like, "You can't trust a woman," or "Women are all out to take advantage of you." We may have unrealistic expectations for a partner or pinpoint weaknesses from the moment we meet someone. When viewing the world from critical or distrusting eyes, we tend to write off a range of potential partners before even giving them a chance. 5. Low self-esteem. So many people I've spoken to have expressed the same sentiment. They believe they want a fulfilling relationship more than anything, but they believe even more firmly that no one worthwhile would be interested in them. We all possess critical inner voices that tell us we are too fat, too ugly, too old, or too different. When we listen to these voices, we engage in behaviors that push people away. When we remain single, it is not for the reasons that we're telling ourselves. Our lack of confidence leaves us giving off signals of not being open, creating a catch-22 in the realm of dating. Many people even have trouble leaving the house when they're really down on themselves, let alone pursuing situations where they are likely to meet potential partners. 6. Fear of competition. A lack of self-esteem often leads to fears of competing. It's easy to put ourselves down in relation to others, especially when it comes to dating. When we meet someone we like, it's all too easy to think, he/she could do better. When we see that someone else is interested in the person we like, we may be quick to back away. We may feel unwilling to compete, particularly as we get older, and we start to have self-attacks like "your time has passed," "you're too old for this." Our fears of competition can lead us to avoid putting ourselves out there. We may be afraid of looking like a fool or of not being chosen. 7. Isolation and routine. With age, people tend to retreat further and further into their comfort zones. Modern women are more and more successful, accomplished, and self-sufficient, which are all extremely positive developments. Yet, as both men and women get more comfortable, be it financially or practically, it is also easier for them to form a bubble from which it is difficult to emerge. It can feel harder to take risks or put themselves out there. After a long day's work, many of us may feel more like putting on pajamas and crawling into bed than going out into the uncertain and anxiety-provoking world of meeting people. 8. Rule-making. As years pass, we often develop rulebooks for ourselves regarding dating. In effect, we put what we have learned down on paper. But what looks good on paper doesn't always work in real life. When we act on rules based on our past, we can create a perpetual cycle of disappointing relationships. A woman I know once dated someone with whom she had amazing chemistry. When it didn't work out, she decided to stop looking for a guy she felt a strong connection with or attraction to. Instead, she made reasonable choices, and as a result, she found far less satisfying relationships. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. Before you go, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.